With nearly 5,000 specialists dedicated to supporting dealer financial services, Ally has the expertise to help you with your retail finance, F&I, and remarketing needs. We're all better off with an Ally. Contact your local Ally account executive to get started today. Ally, do it right.
Welcome to Daily Drive for Monday, September 8th, 2025. I'm Kellen Walker in Las Vegas. Today on the show, South Korea sends a rapid response team to bring back workers detained in an ICE raid. Stellantis plans to scrap its target of 100% EVs in Europe by 2030. And BMW will introduce 40 models based on its Neue Class platform. Plus, Audi CEO Gernot Döllner joins the show to talk about the automaker's focus on strategic clarity and its plans for electrification going forward.
With these models, we have the youngest portfolio in the premium segment and the most flexible one.
Let's run through all the news you need to know to keep up in the auto industry. South Korea has dispatched a rapid response team to bring back more than 300 Korean nationals detained during a U.S. immigration raid last week on a Hyundai LG Energy joint venture EV battery factory in Georgia. Officials say they will dispatch a chartered jet to bring the workers home. The Korean Ministry of Foreign Affairs said in a statement the team will arrive in Atlanta on Tuesday. The delegation consists of officials from the bureaus in charge of protecting overseas nationals and bilateral economic relations, as well as the consulate general in the U.S. We'll hear more about this developing story in a minute with our own Carly Schaffner. Stellantis will no longer pursue a target of selling only battery electric vehicles in its European markets by 2030. That's according to the automaker's Europe boss, Jean-Philippe Imperato. Speaking at the IAA Munich Auto Show today, Imperato also said that the European Union's carbon emissions targets for 2035 are no longer achievable for any automaker. The target calls for only zero emissions cars to be sold by that date, effectively banning gasoline and diesel cars in favor of battery electric models. And BMW plans to launch 40 new or updated models based on its Neue Class technology platform by 2027. CEO Oliver Zipse made the announcement at the IAA Mobility Auto Show, where the automaker debuted its first car on the platform, the iX3 midsize full electric SUV. Zipse said the Neue Class represents, quote, a massive leap that will shape the entire brand for years to come. BMW will start iX3 production at its new factory in Hungary this fall. The European market rollout will start in spring 2026. The US and Canadian launches are in summer 2026. And those are today's headlines. You can find more details on all those stories at autonews.com. Joining me now to talk more about the immigration raid at Hyundai's Savannah Complex is Carly Schaffner, who covers Hyundai Group and other automakers for us at Automotive News. Carly, welcome back to Daily Drive.
Thanks, Cal. Happy Monday.
All right, so what do we know so far, Carly, about why ICE raided this battery factory?
Well, allegedly, there had been a months-long investigation going on into who exactly was working at the construction site. And just to clarify, this is the construction site of the battery venture that's being built on the property. It's a 3,000-acre mega site, is what most people reference it as, that also houses the EV battery plant. So there's two separate entities happening. The EV plant is already producing cars and was unaffected. So this is the joint venture between Hyundai Motor Group and LG Energy Solution. So after months long, they didn't specify. They looked into across multiple agencies, federal agencies, including DEA, the FBI, ICE, of course, even Georgian local police enforcement looked into the workers that were there, and they obtained a warrant to go in and conduct the apprehensions. And that was on Thursday.
And what's the impact on Hyundai Group's operations there?
So they haven't said much. Hyundai appointed its North American Chief of Manufacturing, Chris Sussick, to oversee the whole mega site. So they're conducting an investigation into the employment practices and also looking inward at their own hiring processes. That's essentially what it has said. But the battery factory, which is slated to supply batteries to the EVs coming from the EV portion of the mega site, construction has stopped. The opening of that site was already delayed. It was supposed to be opening at the end of this year, and now it's slated for the first half of 2026. So whether it delays opening of the battery factory remains to be seen. We haven't received confirmation on that, but there is that possibility.
Cool. Interesting stuff, Carly. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks.
Coming up, Audi CEO Gernot Döllner talks about the future of the automaker and the emphasis on strategic clarity going forward. That's next on Daily Drive.
Daily Drive listeners like you have access to the lowest price for Automotive News Congress 2025 on September 11th.
The event is where the industry's biggest players tackle its toughest challenges. Congress attendees don't just follow the industry, they lead it.
This year's featured speakers include Hyundai Motor Group Executive Chair Yu-Sung Chung, Asbury Automotive CEO David Holt, and General Motors CEO Mary Barra.
We are investing in America. We're creating jobs. That's creating IP in this country. And I think, the United States needs to lead in key technologies.
Join us to gain the insights and connections needed to steer your business through massive change.
To get the lowest price for the event, go to autonews.com/events, select Auto News Congress, and type in the discount code DAILYDRIVE. That's one word, all caps, Daily Drive. And we'll see you on September 11th in Detroit.
For over 100 years, Ally has helped dealers like you serve your customers by providing the best-in-class products and services you need, and by remaining true to the automotive passion we share. Your dedicated Ally account executive will work hand in hand with you to help you gain efficiencies, increase your product offerings, and work to improve per-vehicle revenue. Because we care about your business as much as you do. We're all better off with an Ally. Contact your local Ally account executive to get started today. Ally, do it right.
Welcome back to Daily Drive. I'm Kellen Walker. CEO Gernot Döllner has big plans for Audi. He says the automaker will focus once again on being the challenger in the premium segment. Döllner recently sat down in Milan with Automotive News Europe associate publisher Luca Schiferi and correspondent Andrea Milan. Here's a piece of their conversation.
They have an unknown source that claims that Audi is pointing to 2 billion units in an undefined time frame. And a spec said it says this year will reach about 1.7, 1.8 million. Audi is not commenting on that. Sorry, makes any sense to give such a target with no time frame?
The target without time frame never makes sense. As you mentioned, right now around 1.7 million units per year. We are right now working on our strategy, which also has clarity and character as our guiding principle. We will internally communicate that strategy in September, and as part of that, we will then communicate later also a target for growth and a sales figure. But clearly, our goal is to grow profitable over the next years.
You said that clarity, focus, and commitment to implementation will not reshape Audi design only, but the entire company.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate on this?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, by working out our new strategy, and in parallel working on the new products, we found that in both in our car design and in how we rebuild the Audi organization, clarity is really the guiding principle. Reorganized Audi internally, focused the organization, took out one management level. So we only have 3 management levels within the whole company worldwide, took out 400 roles out of the organization and focused ourselves and implemented an organization that's absolutely clear, processes that are streamlined, and decision-making that is very close to the product and absolutely focused. And so for our new strategy and for Audi, clarity and also the character to come back to be the challenger in premium segment. That's also part of that strategy.
You had a basically disappointing first half with operating margin down to 3.3% from 6.1% the same period the year before. The board envisaged a 5 to 7% margin for the full year. Given that the uncertainty on the US tariffs continues, and it looks like that the 27.5% is going to be paid longer than what you expected, is this target still achievable, or you have to revise it given high bill of tariffs?
No, we are working hard to stay with the guidance we gave. For sure, there's a huge uncertainty in several parts of our business. We hope and we see that we will have, at least on the US-Europe tariff side, a stabilization to 15% effective as of September, and looking forward to also having a solution for Mexico, US, and in total, I mean, the first half of the year we had some special effects regarding our Zukunftsvereinbarung with the Works Council or future pact that we had, the closing of the Brussels factory and some other issues are beneath US tariffs and CO2 in Europe, special effects in the first half of the year.
How do you view the current pace of EV adoption, and what is your strategy for navigating a potentially longer than anticipated transition period for internal combustion engines?
Yeah, I'm quite happy that with me coming to Audi, we gave us the Audi agenda as transformation and strategy program, and in that we first organized the product launches of more than 20 new models till the mid of next year. And with these models, we have the youngest portfolio in the premium segment and the most flexible one, as we with ICE cars, with plug-in hybrids, and with battery electric vehicles. So we have the perfect setup, and we see globally very different transition to battery electric. In China, it's clear a path to BEV with the specialty of having range extenders that become a class of their own. In this segment, we see a clear path to electrification in Europe, maybe a little slower than expected 2 years ago, but especially this year, quite an acceleration. In the US, we see a clear swing back to ICE and plug-in cars, but the perfect for Audi is that we are flexible.
May I add just one follow-up on this? Is your EV share, the growth of the EV share in your portfolio, in your sales, affecting margins negatively, in the sense that, of course, EV margins are lower so far than ICE?
Yeah, we haven't margin parity yet between battery electric vehicles and ICE vehicles, but you have to see that after taxes, and if you see it after taxes, we are happy with our swing to battery electric vehicles.
Based on the CO2 regulation?
Especially based on, I mean, Europe is our biggest market, based on this European CO2 regulation. Having that in the equation, then things look quite good for the battery electric car.
In terms of EU CO2 regulation, there is a big meeting next week in Brussels. What do you expect, or what do you envisage related to the 2030 2025 targets? Keep them as they are, add more flexibility, scrap them?
Yeah, whatever is to be discussed there next week. The most important part, the most important for us is that we have a stable regulation, so we can plan with stability for the future
in Europe and the US every 5 years.
I mean,
you've had a swing
in the US. There's also in the regulation quite some change. I mean, IRA will stop in September. The $7,500 support will be gone, and maybe also there will be a up to $3,000 reduction on
ICEs.
On ICE cars, so that will affect the market definitely.
In the US?
Yeah, the US, the CAFE CO2.
Oh, so I mean,
CO2. It's not tax is not the right word. It's negative penalties that maybe will go away.
So you mean
it's a discussion. It's not a final regulation.
Yeah. Gas guzzlers?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, the money is to go. Okay, everything is going away in the US. PPA, Premium Platform Electric, was caught over with Audi and faced some delays. Are these challenges behind you?
Definitely, yes. We launched the cars, brought them to the market. With that, we introduced more cars with 800 volts, ultra fast charging, and long ranges. So we are quite happy with that.
Do you think that the premium automaker should switch soon to electric 800 volts only?
I mean, we did that starting with the e-tron GT 4 years ago, and for us, 800 volt is since then the future standard for premium cars.
For cars we have already in the market.
All 800 volts, so no plan to offer cheaper model with 400?
No.
How is Audi addressing the software challenges that have impacted the wider Volkswagen Group, and what is your strategy for delivering a seamless and innovative digital experience to your customer?
I mean, with the PPE and PPC platforms, we are right now taking a huge step to implement innovative electronic platforms, and in parallel, we are already working on the next step as Volkswagen Group with the Rivian Volkswagen technology joint venture, which will for the cars coming from 28 on deliver a central compute zonal architecture, and Audi is in the lead within Volkswagen Group to develop the first car on that architecture.
Audi CEO Gernot Döllner spoke with Automotive News Europe's Luca Schiferi and Andrea Milan. You can read more of their full conversation at autonews.com. That's Daily Drive for today. I'm Kellen Walker. Thanks to Automotive News executive producer Jake Neer, as well as our own Carly Schaffner and Hans Greimel for their reporting for today's podcast. We also had reporting from Lois Jones of our sibling publication, Automotive News Europe. You can get the latest news on manufacturing, electrification, and everything happening in the auto industry at autonews.com. Come back tomorrow for a conversation with consumer advocate Ralph Nader about his career and what he thinks about the state of automotive safety in 2025.
The auto industry is in real trouble because they can't get to first base on autonomous vehicles in conventional traffic without the trust of motorists.
We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you think of the show and the topics we covered today. Send us an email at dailydrive@autonews.com or leave us a voicemail at 313-444-2774. And if you enjoy the podcast, remember to like, leave a review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.